Up here. Is it on? All right. All right. Quit talking. Quit telling everybody about your grandkids. Thank you. Everybody here? On behalf of Jimmy, Great Southern, I want to thank you and welcome you to another banquet that we've had for 75 years. And I appreciate so much all of you attending. I know he does. He does a lot of great good. He and the company to send kids to school that can't afford to go. Cliff will go over that, I guess. He knows more about it than I do. So he doesn't know much, but he knows more than I do. So we'll do it like that. And we appreciate so much you being here. We've got a lot of former athletes here. We've got up here, and we've got a lot of current coaches. And we've got some current coaches, if they don't start winning, would be former coaches. So a couple of them, friends of mine. They were friends of mine. I'm sorry that Sonny can't be here. The bad part about it is I can't make fun of Sonny's better. Sonny had a sickness, a fall, but I can't criticize him, and so it ruins the show. Plus, you don't get to hear Sonny's corny jokes. He'll tell two or three. He tells the same joke every time we have it. But anyway, Sonny's better. The show is not as good without Sonny, but he's getting along a lot better, and thankful for that. He and I had a radio show together. Sonny and Wimp and Sonny. One thinks he's smart and the other one thinks he's funny. I was a little of both. No, I really wasn't. But anyway, we're going to ask Rat Riley, who comes up to give the invocation, say the blessing. Rat was a field goal kicker at Auburn. He says he was really good, but they didn't have goalposts. So we really don't know whether it was or not. And really the only reason that Rat does this is so he get a free meal. Where are you, Rat? Get up here, Rat. Rat's going to bless the food. Go up here, Frank.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach. Good evening. Great to be here and see everybody, and so thankful for another year, and gets bigger every year and better. Just one or two comments about these young folks, the recipients. What a pleasure it is to review their applications. And I've never seen so many of the young people talk about the things they did this time. And very quickly, one of the questions that they wrote about on the essay was, if you had a backpack, you could only take a backpack, you're going to a country you've never been, you can put three things in it. What would be the three things you'd put in the backpack? Most all of the applications talked about the family, about the country, about the school, and over 60% said they would put a Bible in. That would be one of their three things. Coach K this afternoon talked with the young folks about character, and I was so excited to hear that. I can't wait to hear him tonight. So the character stands out. So we're here to celebrate these young folks, their families, but everybody here. And much gratitude to Jimmy, to his family, to the foundation board, to all the people involved, but especially to you who make all of this possible. So this is kind of a celebration of love, which is the highest gift we can give. To love somebody enough to help get an education and to share with them the important things of life, spiritually and mentally, as well as physically. So thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me be here, Jimmy. Thank you. So let's pray. Father, in the name of the Lord Jesus, we come to you. We thank you. We praise you for your goodness, your greatness, your wonderful works to us. Thank you, Lord, for the gift of generosity that you have given all these folks here tonight, going back 26 years to small beginnings, but big impact. Thank you for the growth. Thank you for what this means to all of us and for what it'll mean in the future. So we celebrate that possibility and the future. We thank you, Lord, for this food. We pray that you will bless it and make it to be good for us, to strengthen us, to heal us, to prosper us, that we might be a greater blessing to you. And we thank you in the name of the Lord Christ. Amen.
Okay, you can eat. If I'd known he was going to speak that long, I wouldn't have had him up here. We wouldn't have brought Coach K. Anyway, eat, and then Jimmy will be up. Of course, we're excited about having Coach K here. I'll make a couple of other remarks before Jimmy, and I think Cliff will be up to give his speech. And so anyway, eat. Attention. Quit talking. Quit talking about your grandkids. We're going to try to get this thing going while you're eating. Going to bring Cliff up here in just a second. I want to say something about Coach K because I don't ever get to talk anything. When I had the opportunity to get the coaching job at Alabama, there wasn't anybody that wanted me to have it but me. Everybody else was pissed off because they got it. But the first thing I did was I got the school plane and I flew to see Coach K. Coach K didn't know me from Adam's house cat. And he was I wanted to talk some defense with him. He was about as nice to me or a guy that he didn't really know at a time when I was trying to win a game and be pleasing to Alabama fans. And I say that because that's the kind of person he is. He could have said, "Wimp, I ain't got time for you. You hadn't won any games yet," and so forth. But he was really, really great. And I wanted to say that because I feel that. Before Cliff gets up here, we got one person I always introduce. Most of you know I work for Jimmy, and Jimmy's brother, Greg, worked with us. Greg would wear your fanny out. He was lazy. He was stingy. He was a smart aleck. He'd drive you crazy. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't do anything around him. Jimmy gave me a car. The side mirror wouldn't work. I couldn't see behind me. And I went up to him and I said, "I need to buy a mirror for my car." He said, "Wimp, mirrors are $200. I said, "So?" He said, "Just turn your head and look behind you. We ain't buying no cotton picking mirror." That's the kind of guy he is. He's also, with all that, don't turn your head when he stands up. He's liable to steal your pie. And I'll tell you what you'll see him at the golf tournament tomorrow. But he's also a very special person to me. When my wife passed away just recently, he and Jimmy were the first two on the front row, and I appreciate it. So I want all of you, before I introduce Cliff, to give Greg Rane, as bad as he is, a nice ovation. Stand up, Greg. Where are you? Cliff's going to introduce all the dignitaries and all the big shots that we have. Cliff's does a great job with Great Southern and was a terrific basketball coach. If you need to know something about NIL, he knew about it years ago. Yeah. In fact, he could quote it. He and Sonny could quote NIL years ago. They're the best at it you've ever seen. But anyway, Cliff and I have been friends. Cliff's going to introduce all these people that think they're big shots, and I'll turn it over to Cliff.
Thank you so much. I want you to look out tonight and just think about what's happening here. 26 years ago, we're in a small room. We gave out one scholarship. And I want you to look at tonight. And I want to thank all the people that have come. And I know Jimmy's going to do the same, and I'm not going to steal his thunder. But all these people back here come every year. We have raised over $2.5 million this year for the vision that Jimmy had. And he's been our leader. And we're just excited for what's going on here. Couldn't have a better person to come speak to us tonight than Mike. Bobby and I were back in the ACC days, the grand times of what we call college basketball in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And we were all very close. We were like a trio. And you're in for a treat. And Mike, I really appreciate you coming and spending time. And he spent time with the scholarship recipients today. This is the first time that any person has come and spoken to those kids that are getting scholarships. Before I get to introducing those people, there are a lot of dignitaries here. Can't name you all, but thank you all, the senators, the legislators, the college presidents, athletic directors. Thank you for coming and being a part of this. We have some scholarship recipients that are in attendance tonight. I do want you to stand up and be recognized. Matthew Murphy was our first scholarship recipient back in 2000. Matthew, if you would stand up, and when I call your name, please do. Haley Northey, she's here. She runs this event. Now we've got a lot of pieces, but she puts this thing together. Scholarship recipient. Chris Pensinger, Kayla Dyson, Kate Griffin, Conley Benefield, Alexis Davis, and Bryson Davis. Let's give them a big hand. We're giving out 74 scholarships on behalf of the board. We're just excited. This is the most that we've ever given out, 74 scholarship recipients. And I want you all to stand. Most of them are here tonight. Stand, and these are going to be your recipients for this coming year. Stand, and let's give them applause. And I'm going to ask Ashton Marcus to come up. She's our student speaker. We're so proud of her. She's a nursing student at the University of Kentucky, pursuing a degree in nursing with an upcoming graduation date of December 2026. Originally from Cold Spring, Kentucky, and I'm sure she probably is a big Blue fan for sure. She's passionate about delivering compassionate care and is gaining experience across medical, surgical, pediatric, psychiatric, public health, and obstetric settings. Ashton aspires to become an ICU nurse and eventually a CRNA with a strong interest in critical care. She serves as a board member for All for Ava Grace, a scholarship fund created in memory of her younger sister. Now I want you to think about what this young person is doing. She's already raised $100,000 to support high school seniors. She is a committed person. She is one of these scholarship recipients that we're so proud of because she's committed to using her training and her personal experience to make meaningful impact on patients, families, and our community. Let's welcome Ashton Marcus. There you go. Isn't she beautiful?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm truly honored to be here tonight as this year's alumni and student speaker. When I first received the Jimmy Rane Foundation scholarship, I knew it was going to help me pay for school, but I do not think I fully understood then just how much it would help carry me through school. When I started college at the University of Kentucky, I was 18 years old, away from home for the first time, and trying to figure out who I was supposed to be. Like many freshmen, I thought my biggest problems would be finding my classes and pretending I knew where I was going when I absolutely did not. But very early in my college experience, life changed in a way I never expected. I lost my best friend, my younger sister, Ava Grace. And when you lose someone that close to you, everything feels different. Your life does not just keep moving in the same direction. It changes shape. The things you used to worry about do not always feel as big anymore, and the things you used to take for granted suddenly feel sacred. I learned that a normal day is not just a normal day. A normal day is someone's dream. Waking up, going to class, calling your family, laughing with your friends, stressing about an exam, those are not things that everyone gets to keep doing. There are people who are not here anymore who would give anything to have one more ordinary day. So now I try to live with that in mind. I try to wake up grateful, and when I feel tired or overwhelmed, I remind myself that I'm not just going to school for me anymore. I'm doing it for people who cannot. I'm doing it for Ava. Losing Ava changed my life, but it also gave my family and me a purpose we never expected to carry. In her honor, we created the All for Ava Grace Scholarship, a scholarship fund dedicated to helping high school seniors pursue their own dreams. Through that fund, we have helped raise over $100,000. And while that number is something I'm incredibly proud of, What means the most is knowing that Ava's name continues to be connected to something good. Her life continues to open doors for other students. So when I stand here tonight as a Jimmy Rane Foundation scholar, I understand deeply what a scholarship can mean. It is not just financial support, it is stability during a season of change. It is one less thing a student has to carry, and sometimes that one less thing is what gives them enough room to keep going. The Jimmy Rane Foundation Scholarship allowed me to attend the University of Kentucky, but even more than that, it gave me breathing room. It gave me the ability to focus on nursing school, for which, if anyone does not know, is not exactly a part-time commitment. At the beginning of nursing school, we were told that if we had a job, it had to be less than 10 hours a week because nursing school is your job. And they were right. Between 12-hour unpaid clinicals, shadowing, simulations, labs, lectures, studying, care plans, and trying to remember every side effect of every medication ever created, nursing school quickly becomes your schedule, your hobby, and occasionally your entire personality. This scholarship helped relieve that pressure. It allowed me to focus on my education without constantly worrying about how I was going to balance everything financially. But just as importantly, it allowed me to build a life at UK during a time when I desperately needed support. After losing Ava, I was not just a college student trying to pass exams. I was an 18-year-old girl away from home for the first time, grieving, overwhelmed, and trying to find people who could help hold me up. It allowed me to join a sorority, get involved in clubs, and find the friends who became my family. Those people became my pillars. They showed up for me on days when I did not know how to show up for myself. I truly did not think I would be standing here today without that support system. That is what makes this scholarship so powerful. It does not just help students pay for college. It gives them room to grow, room to get involved, and room to find their people, and room to keep going when life becomes heavier than they expected. And to the students receiving this scholarship tonight, I want to say congratulations. This is an incredible honor, and I hope you let yourself really feel that. There will be moments in college when you feel completely confident, and moments when you sit in your room staring at your laptop wondering how everyone else seems to have everything figured out. Both are normal. Sometimes they happen in the same day. But when things get hard, remember that you were chosen for a reason. This scholarship is not just about what you have already accomplished. It is about what people believe you are capable of becoming. So take the opportunity seriously, but do not forget to live the life it helps make possible. Find your people, let them help you, and do not take the ordinary days for granted. To the Jimmy Rane Foundation, thank you for believing in students like me. Thank you for seeing potential in students and giving them the support to pursue it. Thank you for providing not only financial help, but stability, opportunity, and the space to keep moving forward. Because of this scholarship, I was able to go to UK. Because of this scholarship, I found my support system. Because of this scholarship, I'm continuing my dream of becoming a nurse. And because of Ava, I will never forget why it matters. Thank you.
Now that's what it's all about. I mean, you're seeing it. You're seeing what your dollars do. You're seeing about making a difference. You know, we're here for a reason, but when we make a difference in people's lives, it really makes us feel good. And it's just a great thing. Ashton, thank you so much. And we're here tonight to congratulate 74 scholarship recipients that are coming on board this year. Over 175 different colleges and universities have been represented. But I'd be remiss if we didn't take a moment to congratulate the guy that's been the foundation's namesake, Jimmy Rane. Just lately, he's received some extraordinary recognitions. Just this spring at Stanford University, he received an honorary doctorate of commerce from Stanford University's Brock School of Business. That's a great honor. Secondly, he will be receiving the Ellis Island Medal of Honor. That's named after my family. No, just kidding. This honor is an amazing a prestigious award with recipients entering the congressional record each year. It recognizes Americans whose selfless contributions strengthen our country and its people, and this recognition is made even more special during Jimmy's time of service on the America 250 Commission. What a great honor, Jimmy. Great honor. Third, on June 6th, he will be given the Lifetime Achievement Award in a ceremony June 6th at Auburn. Carol and I are going to be there. It is a wonderful achievement, but this man has done so much. And without his vision and without his leadership, this would not be happening. I've known this man for 30-something years. He's a man that loves. He's a man that loves his God. He loves his country. He loves his fellow man. He cares. He cares about his God, his country, his family, his fellow man, and he serves. You know, when you got those three things and you can love, care, and serve, he serves his God, he serves his country, he serves his fellow man. He's serving right here today. He's serving these students. So without further ado, let's congratulate and give honor to the namesake of what we're here for, Jimmy Rane.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Angela, honey, did you hear that? Just want to make sure you heard that. What an honor it is to be here again tonight, and what a pleasure it is to be back with all of you. I just want to take a moment to thank so many people on the 26 years that we've had together and what we've created together. There's so many people to thank. Certainly my family, my wife, my children, my grandchildren, my brother. All my family has supported this effort for 26 years, and I can't thank them enough. I can't thank Cliff and Wimp and Larry, the board of directors, but all of these celebrities, they're like family to me. There's so many of them that have been here 26 years, every year, giving of their time. I've said many times we ought to call this the Coaches and Players Foundation, because without them, we would never have been able to be successful. And I can't ever thank you all enough how much I appreciate you and love you for what you've done. And you saw tonight with the students, like you have so many times, what this is all about. You are changing lives. You're changing lives. You're making lives better. I can't thank you enough. And you know, the volunteers, Haley, and all of these people who come every year and work all week long to put this on. It's a lot of work, but they volunteer. Your foundation, this is your foundation, the sponsors who donate this money. We don't have one single employee. There are no expenses other than the price of this dinner and our golf tournament. Other than that, all of this money goes to these children. The rest of it is volunteered. So that speaks volumes to me about the commitment. And I want to say one thing and take just a minute of personal privilege. Tonight is really special to me, very special, because now I can't see in the audience, but there's a young lady here tonight that is the inspiration for why we're here. The inspiration for why the Jimmy Rane Foundation was formed. Now, I don't know where you are, Jana, but I know you're out there somewhere. Jana Gullidge is here tonight. I've told this story before, several years ago when her mother was alive. She was here, and they both came. But 26, 27 years ago, Jana, I've known Jana since she was a little girl. I'd go to the D&D donut shop in the mornings before school to get a cup of coffee, and Jana would come through there. And I'd say, "Good morning, Jana." And she'd say, "Hey, Mr. Jimmy, how are you?" Just the sweetest, brightest little girl you ever saw. And from the time she was in kindergarten all the way through high school, I'd say, "Jana, what do you want to do when you grow up?" "Mr. Jimmy, I want to be a doctor." She never wavered. Not one time did she ever waver. "I always want to be a doctor." She made good grades. She did everything she should. Her mother, Sue Gullidge, worked with us at Great Southern. Her father, Ed Gullidge, had a tire shop. And when she graduated, she went to Auburn. And back then, we didn't have a lot of scholarships, but she had won a presidential scholarship for $1,000. Ed passed away from a heart attack. And before I knew it, Jana had to drop out of school and leave Auburn. Well, that crushed me. That absolutely crushed me. Here was a child I had known all her life, and all she ever wanted to be was a doctor. And she did everything she could. She did everything right that she could. And yet she didn't get the chance. And I said, "I don't know what we can do, but we're going to do something. We're not going to let this stand. We're going to change this. There are other children like her." And we made the commitment that night to start this foundation. And it took a year to raise enough money to give one scholarship. And we gave that one scholarship to Matthew Murphy. And we gave it to a deserving kid who needed help. And he has gone on to do great things. And not only Matthew, but every single one of these children, they are not your really, really poor children. And they're certainly not rich kids. They're the kids, what we call in the middle. You go to any college campus, and you'll find children waiting tables, working in stores, trying to make their way through school. All of them have a story. Maybe their father died. Maybe their mother died. Maybe they had more children, more friends, siblings than they could afford. But they're trying to make it. Kids in the middle. That's who we're trying to help. And they've all gone on to do great things. And that, my friends, is a tribute to you. And when we have over 1,100 people here tonight, the greatest crowd we've ever had, the most money we've ever raised, you've given out over $10 million in 26 years. And you've changed a lot of lives for the better. Congratulations. Thank you. Now, I know you didn't come here to hear me speak tonight, so I appreciate that moment of personal privilege. But we are here to have a great speech tonight and a great presentation. I've only gotten to know this gentleman just recently, but I can't tell you how impressed I am with him. He has done so many miraculous things in his life that it's too numerous for me. We're going to have a video in a minute to tell all of that. But he's a graduate of West Point. And of all the great accomplishments he's done in his life in sports, he's coached for 42 years. 36 out of 42 years, his teams were in the NCAA tournament. It's almost an unbelievable record. His accomplishments on the field of sports are amazing. But the thing that makes the most difference to me is Mike Krzyzewski is a patriot. He loves his country. More than anything, he loves his family and his country. And he's built his life on character. As Cliff said earlier, we've been doing this 26 years. This is the first time I ever had a speaker say, "Can I go with you to speak to those children? I want to see those children." And I said, "Certainly." And when we got over there and he spoke to them, one of the things that resonated the most with me was he said, "We recruited talent with character, not talented characters." And visions of Pat Dye came flooding back in my head when I heard him say that. Because how many times I heard Pat say character was everything. He considered character in his players more important than almost anything. Certainly they had to be talented, but if they weren't good people, he didn't want them. And all of those that played for him know that's the truth. Am I right, Bo? Yeah. So, Coach, we are excited to have you. And there's so many, I mean, I know you coached the Olympic team, and you said that was one of the things that you were most proud of for 11 straight years. Is that right? And won the gold medal, watched our flag fly. It's he's an author. He's written so many books, but I'm going to let the video speak for itself because this is much better at that than me. Thank you. Welcome, Coach K.
There's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up. Yes! Okay, let's go. All right. Yeah, before we get into a conversation, I've not been to Alabama very much. And I've learned a lot about this organization and about your state in the last couple weeks. Whenever I do an event, I always do a prep call, scouting, and try to get to know people. And we hit it off right away. And I said, this guy's a good guy, you know. And but tonight I've met ladies. I have 3 daughters. My wife, we've been married 56 years. And we got married on graduation day from West Point. I call my girls guys too. You all are good guys, all right? You are really good guys. And for you to support these young men and women the way you do is amazing. We have a place in Durham, North Carolina. That's where Duke is at. And my mom, we kind of have similar backgrounds, immigrant backgrounds. And my grandparents came from Poland, and my mom never went to high school. She was in eighth grade. And I grew up in the inner city of Chicago. And she was the best person ever in my life. And don't tell my wife that I said that, all right? Just don't put that on TikTok, Twitter, whatever the hell people put those things on now. We're lucky we're not coaching right now. We'd be annihilated with the way we used to talk. And but my mom was really committed to me. And that's what I feel from all of you. It's like you need somebody to believe in you. You know, to me, the 4 most powerful words in the world are, I believe in you. And I was telling the young men and women today that my mom gave me the best advice ever in my whole life of anyone. I went to West Point. I've been fortunate to be at a lot of good places. And it was this cleaning lady, my mom, I was going to high school, my first day at high school in the inner city of Chicago. I'm Catholic. My wife's Baptist, so I'm okay, all right? Just don't start throwing stuff at me right away. So I was going to Catholic boys high school, and my mom says, Michael, sit down. And I said, come on, Ma, my buddies are waiting for me. And she says, Michael, whenever she said that, you better listen. And she says, tomorrow, make sure you get on the right bus. And I said, Ma, I know the city. I can go Damon to Armitage, Armitage to Laramie. I can even go Division to Grand. And she says, that's not the bus I'm talking about. And I said, well, what bus are you talking about? And she says, tomorrow, you're going to start driving your own bus. I get chills and a little choked up thinking about it. And, only let good people on your bus. And you're going to be asked to go on other people's buses. Only go on buses of good people. And then to cap it off, she says, those buses will take you to places that you could never go alone. I'm Catholic and a third base coach, so this is what we do. The best advice. So for my whole life, I was on West Point's bus. I served in the Army as a captain in the field artillery for 5 years. And then my wife and we drive this Krzyzewski family bus. And then I went back to West Point to coach. And then I went to Duke. And then I got on USA's bus. And the thing I tried to get across to these scholarship recipients is this summer and fall, start driving your own bus. You get to all these campuses, only let good people on it. And I'll tell you what, you win with good people. And good people make good people better. And today, we have 1,100 of you together, and look what the heck's happening. And look what you've set as a goal for next year, because you'll have 12. We need at least 1,200, right? Yeah, and we need not 74 scholarships. We need over 80. Yeah, he made a prediction. He told me when they first started. Jimmy said, "Man, I'd love to be around if we ever got 1,000." Well, we're at 830, man.
Yeah.
So, and how do you feel? You all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Hanging in there.
Take good care of them. All right. I think we can do it in a couple years. A thing that I would like to just say to all of you, I still work at Duke. I was able to finagle a lifetime contract. You guys didn't do it, did you? How about you? No, your son's got the job. That's so. No, it's good. It's good. But I work for the NBA, National Basketball Association. I'm a special advisor to Adam Silver, so I'm at all their meetings, and I speak a lot, but I'm also a professor of leadership at our Fuqua School of Business. I've been with Fuqua, we have a great business school, for over 25 years. And would you be okay if I talk to you a little bit about leadership? Would that be all right? And this is what I want young men and women to hear. The best profession in the world is being a leader, because every part of our society needs leadership. It needs good leadership. So all of you, as Jimmy Rane scholars and scholarship recipients, don't just go to school at these schools and get your degree. Become a leader. Why don't you become a leader in When you find out what your why is, I've always known my why. I wanted to be a coach since I was 16. The people who know their why, they do how and what better. Yeah, they do how and what better. When I coached the U.S. team for 11 years, my first meeting, you get these 12 guys, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, boom, boom, boom. You know, they're walking in and a little bit intimidating, you know, like, and I told them, I said, bring all your egos in. I don't believe in the expression, leave your egos at the door. Okay. Why would I want you to be less of who you are? But I told them, put all your egos under one ego umbrella, USA. If we do that, I get chills thinking about this, we'll rule the world. And we did. Yeah, we won from 2008 to 2016, 77 straight games, 3 Olympics, 2 world championships. But at that night, I said, I want you to hear and I want you to see, just like the young women, men and women. You go to school, you know, hear and see, that's cool. You don't own it unless you feel it. You got to have something that hits you right in the heart. Why are you doing this? Not just how and what you're doing. Why are you doing it? So with the U.S. team, I told them, you're not playing for the United States. And I was the first college coach to coach the pros. So they're probably thinking, where's the pro guy? You know, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And I said, and we always had a picture of the gold medal up. And I said, we will not win that. And I looked at each one of them. And I said, unless you are United States basketball, unless you are United States basketball, unless you are, you got to own it. You have to own it. You have to feel it. So I said, after our meeting, we set up standards about how we were going to live together, and we all agreed to it. And I said, we were at the Wynn in Las Vegas. Yeah, it was easier to get them to practice if they came to Las Vegas. And it's a good recruiting thing. I mean, you all in the SEC know how to recruit, so don't tell me about Las Vegas and that. And I said, when you guys go up to your suites, look on your beds and be 16 for 1 minute. So later that night, I was doing a service for the Wynn. I was checking their video poker machines to see if they work. No, it's just the kind of guy I am, you know. Like, and so I'm at one that's not working. It's all true. It's a true story. So I'm trying to make it work, and I get a tap on my shoulder, and it's Kobe Bryant. And I said, what's up? He said, Coach, I did what you asked me to do. And I said, what happened? He said, I cried. 3 days later, we brought in one of my former West Point players, commanded a striker unit in Iraq, and brought in 3 of his wounded warriors. Scotty Smiley, who was blind, a captain, 2 non-commissioned officers who had lost limbs. And they spoke to my team, and they had no excuses, and they all wanted to serve again. Scotty Smiley became the first blind officer in the United States Army. All my guys were crying. And we kept up that association with the military so my guys could always feel why. This whole night for 26 years, it's a big why. You know, I know you're giving money and whatever. I wish you could have seen all the recipients right in front of us today. They're beautiful. I'm going to call you kids because I'm 79 and he's a few months older than me. So you're not a young whippersnapper either, there, hotshot. And how about that? I get to call him hotshot. I'm standing up. By the way, I bought him that sport coat so he would look like a Duke guy. And anyway, instead of those orange things that Pearl wears. You know, anyway, I won't get into clothing. But to me, my hope for all of you youngsters is to become leaders. And when I teach, I talk about the 3 A's of leadership. I'm Polish, so we don't get to D, F, and we just stay with the A's. All right, that's it. Keep it as simple as possible. And the first A is agility. You know, like if you're a football quarterback, you call a play in the huddle and you come up to the line and they have a different defense, you call an audible. You make reads, you know, unless you play for the New York Jets or something. They don't do that. And I know there are no Jets fans down here, so I can get away with that stuff. The second A is adaptability. Obviously, you're always adapting to new things, analytics, AI, and all those things. But the thing I had to adapt to the most, and youngsters, you have to do this too. In fact, we all do, is communication. You know, like, God's been great to me with a beautiful wife, 3 daughters, 10 grandkids, gold medals, championships. But God played a little trick on me. I kept getting older and the guys I coached stayed the same age. All right. I don't know how that happened, but it was that way. And so I never had to compromise my values because values don't change. Trust, courage, duty, loyalty, selfless service, respect. They're going to be the same 20 years from now. But how we teach them is different because people keep changing. And so as a leader, you have to change how you communicate. So I started, one, you have to look decent. I'm wearing my Air Force Ones and you can't wear what they wear because they only look good in what they wear, all right? And, but in communicating, I thought music would be a good way. But for the last 15 years of my career, I could not understand a darn word of any song. Do you relate to that at all? And artists were not called Frank and Mary, or I don't know what they're called. Anyway, so every once in a while, I'd ask one of my managers, who's singing that? All right. Give me one line in the song. And in a meeting, I would go in and say, hey, we just had so-and-so on. I love the line. And I had the one line. And I got street cred. All right. No, you got to play tricks. You got to play trick. We even started using music in practice. Not when we were teaching, but before and after. And one of the reasons is I wanted to feel what they felt. Crazy, right? But music, you feel. So even though I didn't understand the words, didn't know who the hell was singing it or whatever, I'd go. And I did feel it. I know that wasn't very impressive, but at least they knew I was feeling what they were feeling. So there was connection. The last couple of years in my career, 20-minute meetings had to be 7 minutes, okay? And if you could show pictures, boom, it would be great. The attention span. And a big thing for me was not to have me do all the talking. John Shire's taken over the program. He's done a great job. He was my associate for a number of years. And a lot of the meetings, I'd say, you do it. You know, we'd prepare for it, but you do it. And we'd sit in the theater and he'd be talking to him and I'd be in the back. And all of a sudden I say, John, let me add something. And I'd do that 2 or 3 times. And each time my guys had to turn. They would remember the 2 or 3 things I said then better than if I was up there for 7 or 8 minutes. And so you try to trick them. How do you, the thing is, how do you get your message across? You know, like when you're working with a group, and I know youngsters feel like it's the older person's responsibility to communicate. That's not the way it works. It's up to both people. In other words, The younger people, you have to learn how to talk to us too. You know, we can't be the only ones who are talking to you, because you know what? Part of communication is listening. So we want to listen to you, and you should want to listen to us. I know I was happy that I listened to that cleaning lady. And so, you know, adaptability and communication. The third A is not alive and well. It's called accountability. People think of accountability and they say, whoa, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I'm going to use you as an example. All right?
Okay.
It's okay. You can't get mad at me now. All right? And so it's telling the truth. Like, that sport coat, man, it's unbelievable. And those slacks, you look like a stud, man. You are just a handkerchief and everything. And your shoes stink, all right? No, they don't. They don't. Maybe. Well, and what I'm saying is, in accountability, you can't just keep telling somebody your shoes stink. If that's the only thing you ever say, you got to say good things. You look good. That's a good job and whatever. And by the way, I got a different pair of shoes for you. All right? And so, no, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. And these are little things. And you know what they cost? Nothing. They cost you what you being good to one another. You being honest to one another. Okay? And so the toughest accountability I've ever had was in the Beijing Olympics in 2008. Actually, I'm wearing our Olympic ring I wore it tonight just because I thought I might tell the story. And it gets me in a moment, all right? And we have a great team. We're playing Australia in Shanghai in our last exhibition game. And Kobe Bryant was our best player. He was the best player in the world at that time. And we had 12 alpha dogs, but he was alpha. He was really unbelievable. And in that game, he started taking Laker shots, or not US shots. They were bad shots. And one of our things was, we're going to take good shots. So at a free throw, LeBron James walks in front of me, and he doesn't have to say anything. You know, he looks at me like, what are you going to do? And I said, don't do anything. Do not do anything. I'll take care of this. And a lot of times with big egos, they look at you 2 or 3 more times. I said, do not do anything. Trust me. So I couldn't do anything during the game. You could tell we were starting to disintegrate. Okay? That night, my staff and I stayed up all night, literally all night, because I was going to have to hold the best player in the world accountable. The next morning comes, okay? I see Kobe. I said, I need to meet with you. He said, of course. We go into the team room. I said, and we had him on tape. I said, yesterday you took really bad shots, man. Yeah, if you take those shots, we won't win the gold, silver, or bronze. We won't have a team. And then I showed him the shots, okay? And pretend you're Kobe now, even
Even with the bad shoes.
even with the bad shoes. All right. I'm going to send them some damn shoes, just so you know. I still have a Nike contract, so I'll send you some. So I show them the tape, and there's that moment where you have to look that person in the eye and say, you can't take it. Now, he's beautiful. Like he and Michael Jordan, the two of the guys I coached, when they looked at you, that was it. You're dead. They got you. Like they're that good looking and powerful. So I'm scared, and I look at him and I said, you understand you cannot take those shots. Now, World War III, or what's going to happen? And he looks at me and he says, okay. And my heart dropped. I didn't say anything, but I'm thinking, I stayed up all night for okay. So I'm like, LeBron, you sure? He says, Coach, I won't take those shots. Fast forward 3.5 weeks later, we're in the toughest game I've ever coached in my whole career. The Beijing Olympics, the gold medal game against Spain, the Gasols. And the guys in that game will tell you it's one of the greatest games they've ever played in. 8 minutes to go. We're up by 2 points. Side out of bounds, our bucket, our ball. And I start diagramming a play. And this is all true. As I'm diagramming the play, the hand of the guy I held accountable comes on my hand. It's Kobe. And he said, you get those chills again. Coach, we don't need a play. We want this moment, not this play. We want this moment. This is why we're here. And as a result of him saying, LeBron James says something, Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade say something, and we leave the bench without a play, which I think would have worked, all right? And what the heck? In my imagination, things work, you know. But I forgot to tell you, there weren't only 3 A's. There's a 4th A. We left the bench with a winning attitude. And instead of making one play, we made play after play after play, and we won the gold medal. What I'm saying, on the teams that you'll be on and the teams that you'll lead, you youngsters, be agile, okay? Be adaptable. Hold yourself and others accountable. And what you'll do is develop a team that makes winning plays where you do not have to draw them up for everybody. If you have a great team, winning teams make great plays on their own because of those 4 A's. So anyway, that's my leadership stuff, all right?
That's great.
The shoes are okay, just so you know.
Well, by the way,
I saw you wanting to
Yeah.
kick me there. And
no,
is he hostile at any time? He is every once in a while.
my feet love these shoes. And at 80, my feet rule over fashion.
No, they are good.
They're like walking on clouds, and I wear them even to church on Sunday. So, you know, you've done so many wonderful things, and you gave us such a tremendous speech and background. I know that coming from the humble beginnings in the inner city of Chicago, can you tell us something about your early life lessons that have carried you throughout your coaching career? Things that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, you know, I grew up in a Polish neighborhood in inner city Chicago, and you know, they say things about a village. It's kind of like a village, and then there was you probably lived in the other one. There was an Italian neighborhood right next. We used to go there to eat, and you had better food, and but we always felt safe. We always felt like we belonged to something bigger, and our faith was Catholic, but it was a community of faith. It was a community that stuck together. And, you know, a big thing when you speak and that people ask, you know, what's the best leadership book to read, or who are your mentors? Who's the most, and when people ask me, who is your most important mentor? I said, my mother. And you kids, I'm going to call you kids now. Fathers are great. I'm a father and a grandfather. There's no one better than a mother. Okay, and there's no one who wants you to do better than your mother. Like, mothers are the biggest fans of their kids. They are all the time. And so I learned how to work from my mother. I learned the dignity of work. I learned faith. I learned respect. You talk about the values. If you don't start getting that stuff early, you may never get it. You may never get it. And so I got that, and I got it reinforced. I had an older brother, Bill, who passed over a decade ago. He was the good-looking one, all right? He was 4.5 years older. By the way, older brothers are better looking, just so you know. And that's what he told me to say during this. but my brother was a stud. He never went to college, but he became a Chicago fireman, a fire captain. And I looked up to him, and I always felt like people believed in me and I could depend on them. And, you know, to me, the four most powerful words in the English language are, I believe in you. I love you is good, especially if you mean it, you know, but I believe in you. When you look into someone's eyes and you say, I believe in you, son, I believe in you. And my parents believed in me, man. And I would never be where I'm at if it wasn't for my mom and dad. And so growing up that way, I never knew we ate and slept, and I didn't know we were poor, but we weren't rich, you know. But man, we were rich in everything besides money. And those are the values that last you all the time. And basically, that's what this foundation is about those values. So when we're celebrating, we're not just celebrating scholarships. Tonight, we're celebrating values, man. You're telling, I think we have over 50 of the young men and women here tonight. You're telling them, I believe in you. I believe in you. You know, show me what you can do. Show me what you can do, and we'll be there. And by the way, we're there for 4 years. Come on, man. Come on. And what's going to happen is they're going to show somebody. And so this isn't about just having young men and women go to college. It's about young men and women developing those values and planting them all over the place. You know, and that's what, that to me, over the last few weeks and learning about, to me, that's what's going on here. You have all your numbers and whatever. There are no numbers for what we're talking about. But there are results. There are amazing results, because good people should help good people. In fact, good people should help people who aren't good so that they can become good. All right? But people should help people, and that's why you started this. Yeah, that's why you started that.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming and sharing your time with us, your wisdom with us, and your life with us. You have reinforced what we do believe and what we're trying to do. And seeing the young lady is just manifestly clear why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, it was great. She was unbelievable.
So,
I mean, for her to be pouring her guts out, her heart, you know, how cool is that, man? You know, that's, you know, and for her to trust you to do that shows what your community does. You know, for her to trust you, trust is a big thing. And you can develop trust. I call it the speed to trust. A lot of good things can happen. She trusted all of us to open up her heart and her feelings to us. And that was beautiful. Cliff was not beautiful, and Wimp has never known beauty. Just so you know that.
well, I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Wonderful job. Wonderful job. Thank you.
You gonna say anything? I want to again thank you for attending. Great job, Coach. I appreciate so much the thoughts that you've made, especially trying to handle those big kids that you had, those great players that you had, and some really great thoughts. And I appreciate so much all of you people attending, and it's great. And I've had the honor to work with Jimmy for a long time, and it's been fun. I'll talk about the golf tomorrow, and then we'll close out. golf will start. You get your own ride. Jimmy said he couldn't afford the gas to take you. So get your own ride to the golf course. There will be snacks available for anybody that wants to eat, unless Greg gets there first. If he gets there first, there may not be any snacks, but anyway, if there should be snacks for you. Thirdly, don't cheat. Don't pick it up and call yourself a gimme when you're 10 feet out. Don't do that. So those three things are important. We've had a great night. It's really not. It's really people. It's not where you come from. You know what? In life, it's not where you come from. It's where you're going. That's important. And these kids coming from every direction, everywhere, or where are they going is the important thing in the right way. And they've all been very, very good. And Jimmy and Great Southern and all the people that come to this banquet tonight and put your money into it, we appreciate so much. So I'll turn you loose unless Jimmy wants to say anything, and thank Mike again for what he said, and appreciate you guys coming, and thank you again for all that you do for making the Jimmy Rane Foundation a success. Thank you.